Hi there, Jake Dozer, certified financial planner and financial advisor here with Johnson Brunetti. We're here with today's Money Wisdom question series. And today's question is, what should my relationship be with Roth IRAs? Now, maybe you've heard this term and you're unfamiliar with what a Roth IRA is. And so let's first define that. In a traditional retirement plan, such as an IRA or a 401k, the sort of default setting is what's called pre-tax. And what that means is when the money goes in to that account, you're not paying income tax on it. But when you withdraw that, whether it be the principal or the growth, you're going to pay income tax on it at that point. That is what's called being tax deferred. Roth is just the inverse. You're paying tax on it up front so that one day you can access the principal and interest, as long as you let it sit there long enough, tax-free. And so, needless to say, that becomes pretty intriguing because most folks believe that, hey, in the future, taxes are probably going to go up. So if I can get the taxes out of the way now versus paying them later when they're potentially higher, that might be a win. Now, with any of these things, you want to know a couple things before we talk any more details. Number one, your mileage may vary. Every person's situation is different. The tax bracket you're in now versus the tax bracket you'll be in retirement versus what taxes could be down the road. All these things are different. So you want to make sure that you're not making a decision of whether to do traditional or Roth based on general rules of thumb. You want to make sure that it's in concert with your larger plan. Number two, you want to make sure that you're not going this alone. Anytime that we say that, it sounds like, well, of course that's the case. But just know, particularly around taxes, you want to make sure you're working with somebody who understands the nuance of the tax code, understands that it's an evolving landscape. Those tax changes happen all the time. Every year they're potentially changing your tax bracket and the income that it takes to get to that bracket and what you're paying in and all those things. So they need to make sure that you understand, don't do this alone, and understand that you need this plan to be unique to you. But with those things out of the way, understand that when you're evolving Roth conversions, you want to know, number one, when to put money into a Roth. For instance, am I contributing to a Roth with fresh retirement dollars coming out of my paycheck? Or am I converting to a Roth, taking existing dollars in a retirement plan and paying the taxes and moving it into a Roth IRA? You want to know when you're going to be accessing that money. If you do a Roth conversion and then you end up withdrawing it shortly thereafter, it was kind of a wasted effort. So be aware of that. The next thing you want to be aware of, what's my appetite for risk? For instance, if a Roth IRA grows tax-free, you probably, by comparison, want to put your riskier investments in that because you want to utilize as much tax-free growth as possible. You want to know, when am I going to retire and what are my income needs going to be after retirement? That will dictate what your current and future tax brackets are and whether or not there's a disparity that will tell you when to fill up those tax brackets by doing Roth contributions or conversions. You want to make sure, what is my long-term intentions with this money? Again, if the intention is to use it in your early retirement years, it might not be as wise to use a Roth. But if you said to me, Jake, this is money that I might actually leave to the next generation perhaps, that might be prime money for a Roth, because even if you don't pay taxes on the money, your inheritors will pay taxes on the money. So really the goal is not necessarily just to save you taxes, but to make sure that this money is taxed the least amount as possible. A lot of times our advisors say around here, everybody should pay their fair share in taxes, but nobody should leave Uncle Sam a tip. One of the most powerful ways that you can control that is through your relationship with Roths. Make sure that you don't go it alone, but make sure it's on that conversation table when you're crafting your retirement plan. Again, this is Jake Dozer, certified financial planner with Johnson Brunetti. If you found this content helpful, be sure to subscribe. And if you think there might be someone that you know that could be used and helped by this content, give it a share. We'll see you next time.